So today we're going to share with everyone two types of 𝐈𝐯𝐷𝐼. As Ivy just mentioned, one is called the thinker and the other is called the creator, right? One of them is very thoughtful, while the other is much more creative, very action-oriented, and full of creative ideas, right? These are two very special types of 𝐈𝐯𝐷𝐼. Why do we need to know about them? Different personalities, right? Actually, a lot of the communication issues and misunderstandings between people come from not understanding each other. That's where many misunderstandings arise. If we can understand each other's personalities, especially within the family, whether it's in our careers, communication with our children, or even in romantic relationships, right? We can actually reduce misunderstandings or even make both sides' relationships more harmonious, can't we? So isn't this really important? Let's take a look together at this week's two 𝐈𝐯𝐷𝐼 before we continue, shall we? Let's have a look together. We've already prepared it. All right, have we finished preparing our eye matrix yet? All right, everyone. Yes, we've done it. Each of us has a personality analysis report, so you'll also know which 𝐈𝐯𝐷𝐼 belongs to you. Let's all display our 𝐈𝐯𝐷𝐼 on the screen together. That's right. Which one are you? Which 𝐈𝐯𝐷𝐼 belongs to you? If you haven't done the personality analysis report yet, it's okay. We can see there's a QR code on the screen. So let's all scan it together. Go ahead and take a quick screenshot of it right now. That's exactly right. Once you have that, you can easily share it with all of your close friends and your family members, so they can also quickly take this fun and free personality test report for themselves as well. Immediately after you finish reading through the entire report, you'll be able to find out exactly which specific model of 𝐈𝐯𝐷𝐼 represents your unique personality. So let's take a much closer look at these interesting results together right now. All right, so today I'm really excited because I'm going to talk to you about these two different 𝐈𝐯𝐷𝐼. Hey, look, there's FiFi over there, right? And also, we have MuMu here, right? Let's take a deep dive and see what it actually takes to be a truly creative and highly successful person in this world. Today, what I specifically want to share with every single one of you is the life of Walt Disney. Let's take a much closer look at the legacy of Walt Disney together. Do you happen to know who he is and what he accomplished? A very famous representative is Mickey Mouse, right? It turns out that before Mickey Mouse, he wasn't actually a mouse. Let's take a look. He was originally called Lucky Rabbit, which means he was a lucky rabbit, right? You all didn't know that, right? So why did the rabbit eventually evolve into Mickey Mouse? There's actually a very inspirational story behind it. I'll tell you all about it. In a moment, I'll prepare a video clip for everyone to watch to see why the rabbit became Mickey Mouse. Let's take a look together.
A year after he returned to Kansas City, he landed a job at an art studio, but he was fired. According to his boss, he lacked imagination and didn't have any good ideas. He and his coworker founded their own commercial company, but they failed to attract customers. So Disney and his brother Roy focused on creating cartoons and launched their own company called. The character 𝐓𝐸𝐺 in their cartoons became very popular, but unfortunately, it didn't bring in enough income, so the company went bankrupt. With only $40 in his pocket, Walt Disney went to Hollywood. He tried to become an actor, but he failed at that too. So Disney convinced his brother to join him so they could start working again. And soon, with the creation of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Disney found his first big success. But sadly, that success didn't last long. Disney lost his legal rights to this popular character. But instead of feeling sorry for himself, Disney decided to start over. Disney and UB Iwerks created the animated character Mickey Mouse, and the cartoon became a huge success. Almost his entire life, Disney took a lot of risks with his money, investing it in projects to make them a big success.
For example, didn't his very first boss once tell him, "You simply don't have any creative ideas, not even a single good idea"? And then he actually went ahead and fired him. And then he also experienced starting over from scratch with just $40, right? He even went bankrupt. In the end, he created what we call the lucky rabbit, that little rabbit, but he even lost the license for it. Basically, it was taken away by others. Warner ended up taking it, so there were some legal issues. In the end, he tried to become an actor, thinking maybe that would work, but ultimately, he still wasn't successful. Did he give up? No, he kept working hard, again and again. So let's take a look. Turns out that a successful creator, someone as endlessly creative as Walt Disney, when he faced failure, he never let other people's labels get to him. He was never discouraged. He was very confident that he could do it, and he started over again and again. When he encountered problems, he was willing to humble himself, to start from the very bottom, and step by step, in a very short period of time, he made quick changes and responded rapidly, as we say. What about when facing setbacks? For a creator, the more difficulties they encounter, the more energetic they become. So we also want to remind everyone here. Now, in this era of AI and artificial intelligence, we really need to be careful. Just like Walt Disney back then, he didn't properly protect his intellectual property, what we now call IP, and because of that, he lost what was originally his. He lost ownership of his own creations. Isn't that such a pity? But later on, after going through some setbacks, he learned from experience and gained wisdom. He started to find his own direction in life. Now, let me introduce another person to everyone. We might say, well, probably no one else can have such significance. He was an incredibly brilliant thinker, right? The things he thought about were beyond what ordinary people could imagine. Yes, this is Einstein. So let's take a look at Einstein's story.
Before Albert Einstein became a world-famous scientist, he was working at a boring day job, a clerk in the Swiss patent office. Imagine it, the man who would change our entire understanding of the universe spent his days stamping inventions and checking paperwork. But it was here, surrounded by dusty files, that Einstein found freedom. With no pressure from professors or academics, he had the space to think differently. In his free hours, he scribbled ideas that no one else dared to consider, like about the speed of light, time and the structure of reality itself, and in 1905, while still working at that same patent office, he published papers that are still revolutionary today. They were later called the Miracle Year. The world didn't even realize that a simple clerk had just shaken the foundations of physics from the quiet of an office desk. Einstein created theories that would forever reshape humanity's vision of the universe. Watch the full video now on the Gator.
That is absolutely correct. So when we talk about a true thinker, no matter how harsh the environment or where they happen to be, nothing can stop their powerful and unstoppable surging train of thought, right? They consistently make use of their precious moments of spare time to engage in deep, meaningful thinking. They really need their me time. On top of that, they are a highly disciplined someone with extremely clear and precise logic. Also, they really he constantly cherishes his time in life, always hoping to find answers and also hoping to perfect the things he thinks about. He wants to prove to himself that he is capable. That's right. So these are two examples of success, which also show everyone how to become an outstanding creator and a successful thinker. So today, I'd like to introduce our two personality energy companions to everyone. One is Fifi and the other is MuMu. All right, so let's take a look together. On the screen, we have friends from all over the world. If you are a representative of Fifi or MuMu, or if you're using an 𝐈𝐯𝐷, then you need to pay attention. You can type Fifi or MuMu on the screen so I can see how many of you are Fifi and how many are MuMu today, all right? That's right. Type it out, okay? All right, so first we need to understand Fifi. What kind of qualities does he have? What is his situation? And what does his energy represent? It turns out he represents the color pink. When it comes to getting things done, we say Fifi is very decisive and acts quickly. He likes things that are innovative and things that no one has done before. As soon as he thinks of something, he's the first to put it into action. His mind is always full of fresh, playful, and creative ideas. What makes his truly special is his ability to take action. And when he takes action, combined with his body language that you can see, that excitement, right? The people around his are influenced and inspired by Fifi, and as a result, everyone feels, that's right, following Fifi is the right thing to do. So in this way, Fifi easily becomes a leader among the crowd. He leads a lot of people to help us realize his own creative ideas, right? We say he's really clever, that's right. No matter what difficulties he encounters, he always turns things around. Just like we saw earlier with Walt Disney. When he faces setbacks, he absolutely won't give up on herself. He'll immediately, in the shortest time and at the fastest speed, turn things around. We call that making a comeback from a desperate situation, right? Very good. That infectious energy, this is our Fifi. All right, let's take a look. In different situations, what different kinds of behaviors will Fifi show? All right then, in a moment we'll talk about how he is at work, his working style, how he collaborates with others, his communication skills, how he handles difficulties, and what he's like as a leader. Let's take a look together.